Well, greetings once again, and welcome to the RecPoker podcast. I am your host, Steve Fredland. I'm a recreational player here in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota area, and excited about what we're doing with the show here. A lot of great feedback from many of you on some of the recent interviews we had, including Joe Bernard and John Redding, the World Series of Poker bracelet winner. Just some great guys and some great insight into their life and how they play. And going forward, I'm excited to pick their brains a little bit more on some specific strategy things. Before we go any further, just a quick shout out to the Free Poker Network. They're sponsoring the RecPoker show. Great guys there and a great opportunity through them to play poker for free at local bars and ultimately work your way through the bar, through regions, through state, and into Vegas, and ultimately maybe even playing in the World Series of Poker by playing for free at your local bar. So check that out. It's a pretty cool opportunity. Today I'm going to do things a little bit different. We've got some more interviews coming up in the next few weeks. People like Matt Hamilton and Vlad Revniaga and Blake Bond and a number of other ones that we've got scheduled. But today I want to introduce this idea of what we're going to be doing, which is a virtual book club. I've reached out to Jonathan Little, and he's been gracious enough to engage with the RecPoker podcast on this. He's providing some audio files, some of his thoughts on the book as we go through it section by section. And what I'm going to be doing is inviting anybody who wants to be a part of this to get a hold of me. We've already got close to 10 people who are going to be involved. And what we're going to be doing is from now through May, reading the book on our own, submitting some ideas on the chapters, answering some of the questions that I have, and then I will be consolidating all of that feedback and then creating podcasts from that. So if you want to do this book study along with us, we're doing it independently, but at the same time, and then participate by giving some feedback, I would love to include you and love to include your feedback on that. So in a little bit here, we're going to hear from Jonathan Little on his thoughts initially going into this. But before we do that, I just want to give you a little bit of a background on how we're going to be doing this. We're going to be studying the book Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker, Volume 1 by Jonathan Little. So there's a lot of Jonathan Little material out there. This one's called Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker, Volume 1. And this is a book that is fundamental for many people who have gotten into the game, who have studied the game. This is one of those books that I think is a little bit built to last. There's some good things in here that are true, I think, regardless of how the game changes. And so the book goes through, it talks a little bit about how tournaments work, just some basic things, and why tournaments are so profitable. And then a bunch of the book really focuses on how do you play deep stacked, which Jonathan talks about as 125 big blinds or more. And he talks about how do you play before the flop and after the flop, and the turn and the river, and breaks down a lot of different concepts there. And brings up a number of other topics that are not directly applicable to those things. Then he goes into how do you play mid-stacked, how do you play short-stacked, and then ends the book there. So some really good fundamental stuff for a lot of you recreational players like me, like the people that are on the podcast. A lot of great stuff for you to really start to engage with the game at a deeper level and understand how you can close some of those leaks in your game and how you can take your game to the next level. And maybe with that, start moving from playing just the bar into home games, and from the home games into the $30 casino games, and from those up to the $60 and $75, and maybe even eventually playing some of the big tournaments. So the goal with RecPoker is really to move you from wherever you are to get enough confidence, to get enough skills that you take it to the next level and become a winning player at those levels as well. And so the way that we're going to do this is submit audio. Really, I can provide you all the details. Just shoot me an email. Steve Fredland, all one word, STEVEFREDLUND @gmail.com, or you can do that through Twitter. I've got a few different Twitter accounts. There's an @RecPoker, REC Poker, and that's probably the best way to get a hold of me, through Twitter, or there is a Facebook group, RecPoker, as well. You can use that if you'd like. So get a hold of me. I can provide you with all of the details, but basically that's what we're going to be doing. And so with that, I just want to have you hear a few words from Jonathan Little as he talks about getting into this virtual book club.
Hello, everyone. This is Jonathan Little. I want to thank you all for being here on the RecPoker podcast. I'm excited. The RecPoker has chosen to do one of my books for their first virtual book study. I think this is a fantastic idea. And I do know that I've learned a ton at poker from working with my peers and studying the game together. And I'm very excited that you will be first starting with Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker Volume 1. This is the first tournament book I ever wrote, and I wrote it with the idea that it would be a timeless book, and it has turned out to be a timeless book where the goal is to teach you how to play and think about poker, not how to, beat specific types of opponents or how to play exactly today. The goal of this book was to teach you how to be a strong poker player indefinitely. So I'm incredibly excited that you all will be doing that. For those who do not know me, I am a professional poker player. I have been since 2003. I have about $6.2 million in live tournament earnings. But at the same time, I started off small. I started with a $50 deposit and grinded it up, mainly playing Limit Hold'em before No Limit Hold'em was even a thing online, and then also Sit and Goes, and then eventually I switched to multi-table tournaments. So if you're a multi-table tournament player, this series is especially for you. That said, there is a lot of information in the book about how to play deep stack, so it also certainly applies to cash games. So if you are looking to improve your game, I suggest you participate in this book club.
Okay, so thanks to Jonathan Little for that. As I communicated with him, he's certainly excited about what we're doing, and we want to kind of see where this goes and maybe take it to the next level. And I'm hoping to go out to Vegas this year and actually meet with Jonathan and maybe get some signed copies of his books to give away to those of you who participated. So we'll see how that goes. The only other thing I wanted to bring up, and obviously this is a very short episode this week, we're taking a breath between all the interviews that we're doing, but the only other thing I wanted to call out is that next weekend is the All In for Africa charity tournament. This will be at Canterbury Park. It's on Saturday, April 1st, so April Fool's Day. We're starting at 10:30 in the morning. Feel free to arrive early to make sure you get a good spot, but there should be spots for everybody that shows up. We've got at least 40 people who will be playing the tournament as bounties, meaning the first time they get knocked out, they will be giving a prize to whoever knocked them out. Even if they rebuy, it's that first time that you knock them out. For me, I'm giving away a prize every single time I get knocked out. The first time I get knocked out, you'll get $100 cash, plus you'll get a seat to a future All In for Africa, which is actually going to be September 30th at Running Aces. We've already announced that. And then every time I get knocked out after that, hopefully not many, I will be giving away an All In for Africa seat for each of those times as well. But most of the bounties, it's the first time you knock them out, and we've got everything from $200 cash to gift certificates to an on-air appearance at iHeartMedia, a number of different things that are out there. So really fun time. People have a great time with it. So I really want to encourage you to come out. Our record is 140 players, and so we're hoping to break that record this week. So if you have any questions about that, you can go to the Canterbury Park website, and there is an All In for Africa page out there, so you can look at all the details. It's a $125 initial buy-in, and then you can do optional rebuys for $60 whenever you get below a certain level. And at the end of the registration period, you could do a $60 add-on. So we're trying to raise as much money as we can. 50% of the funds go to charity and 50% go to the prize pool. So with the bounties and the prize pool, it ends up being a pretty profitable day for a lot of players. And if you win the thing, we'll get your name etched onto the Africa trophy. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to get a hold of me, get a hold of Canterbury Park. And man, we'd love to see you there. If you listen to the RecPoker podcast and you see me, give me a shout. Let me know that you're listening and give me any feedback that you want. So that's it for this week. Very short. Love to have you be part of the book club, but if nothing else, look forward to that. And then look forward to some of these great interviews we have coming up with some great local players. And if you missed it, go back in the archives and look at some of the interviews that we've done in the past. Some really good stuff out there. So that's it. Take care. Have a good week.